Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the linear regression. First we will understand where we can use the linear regression in the real world use cases. If you see here, we can predict the house price in a real estate domain. Let's I want to buy a house in any XYZ city. So what I will do, first I will try to check the price. What could be the price at that particular locality? So for that I will use some online portal where I will enter some input data like how many bedrooms we are looking, like how many bathrooms we are looking in that particular flat, or we can say what could be the locality we are looking, or whether we are looking any nearby metro station or not, whether we are looking any nearby park or not. So these type of the input we normally used to enter, and that particular model or online portal model will provide the house price prediction. It means that will provide you the price, what could be the expected price we can get at that particular locality. So it help us to make a decision. Because we are gonna buy a house, so this model can help us to make a decision. And the second example we can say in the e-commerce website. I'm running a e-commerce company and I have to make our budget. So for that what I will do, I will try to predict some price, like what could be the sales I can expect, what could be the profit I can expect, or how much amount I have to invest in marketing, how much amount I have to invest in advertisement. So those type of the things I can expect or I can predict with the help of linear regression algorithm, because these type of the prediction help us to drive our business or make some decision. So if you see here, there is one common thing we can observe in both type of the examples, right? Here we are predicting the price, and here we are also predicting the profit, sales and cost. So the output value that we are predicting, that should be the continuous. That should be continuous. It means data type should be continuous numeric. So what is the property of the continuous numeric variable, or we can say the quantitative variable? Quantitative variable. So your output variable should be quantitative, and that has a nature of continuous. It means it could have any value. We can say 10 million of the house price or 10.11 million of the house price. Same thing we can say the profit, we can say 101 million profit I can predict, or 101.22 million profit I can predict. So it can predict any value. So the output value should be the continuous, or we can say the dependent variable, or the predicted value should be continuous. So let's understand the linear regression with the help of one example here. If you see here, this is the data where we have the salary corresponding to the experience, right? So I give you this data to you, and I will ask you, can you predict the salary of the 11 year of experience guy? So what you will do, you will use some different technique, like you can use some like your statistical method to find the predict the value, or you can also use the machine learning way to predict the value. There are the multiple way we can use to find the prediction of the salary. So here we are gonna discuss about the linear regression. If you see here, what is the common, we can see that if you see here, as the experience is increase, your salary is also increasing, right? So it means this is your input data and this is your output data which we are going to predict, or we can say this is your dependent variable or this is your independent variable. It means input and output both should be linearly correlated. Linearly correlated means that this is your input data, this is your output data. If your input data increase, output data should also increase. This is the positive correlation we can say. It means both should be linearly correlated. So here we have the positive correlation and here we have the negative correlation. It means once the x increase, by decrease. It means these are the negatively correlated and these is positively correlated. The first assumption is that your input variable, or we can say your predictors, or we can say your features or independent variable. These are the different names we used to call. And the output variable, that we also called as your label, or we can say the dependent variable. Both should be linearly correlated. So first assumption is that. So we have to check whether our data, independent and dependent, both are linearly correlated or not, to start the linear regression. So for that, how we can check whether our data are linearly correlated or not? For that, we will plot the scatter plot. If you see here, I plot the scatter plot between the experience and salary. So as the experience, if you see, as the experience increase, your salary is also increasing. It means these are the positively correlated. It means first assumption is verified. Now we can start the linear regression. So what is the purpose of the linear regression? Now question comes, what is the purpose of the linear regression? By using the linear regression, we are gonna predict something. We are gonna predict something, and here we are going to predict the salary. So now question comes, how we can predict the salary, right? If you see here, how we can predict the salary. So to predict the salary, we can draw some line, right? We can draw this line, we can draw this line, we can draw this line, right? By using this line, we can predict the salary. That we will understand later how we can predict the salary, but you can understand in such a way, if we will draw some line, let I draw this line. Okay, so by using this line, we can predict the salary. That we will understand later. So first understand what is this line first. Okay, because we are gonna use this line to predict the salary. So first we have to understand what is this line. If you see here, right, if you see here, this is the linear line equation. This is the linear line equation, and this equation we have already learned in our schooling days. Like by this particular formula, y is equal to mx plus c. We also called as a y is equal to mx plus b. Like we can call it with any name. So here I am using y is equal to mx plus c. And what is the c? C is your intercept. This particular line, right, this line is intercepting the y-axis at this particular point. So this complete distance from this location to this location, this complete distance is called as your intercept, c value. And what is the m? M is your slope. We can calculate the slope with the help of rise upon run. This is your rise, right, and this is your run, right? So we can say this particular value, right, if you see here, right, so this particular value, it means change in y. How much amount we are gonna change in y axis? So we can say that change in y. Same thing if you see here, how much amount we are gonna change in x? It means change in x. So m is equal to change in y upon change in x. So by in this particular formula, we can calculate the m. Once we calculate the m, after that we will calculate the c, and we will put both the value in this particular formula. Y is equal to mx plus c. Let's m is equal to 2 and c is equal to 1, right? This is your output equation. It means by in this equation we can predict our salary. I want to predict the salary x is equal to 3 year of experience. So we can say by predicted value of the y would be 2 multiplied by 3 plus 1. This will be your 7. We can say the $7 per day. So by this we can calculate the salary or the output value. Same thing we can use in our example. Let's see how we can use that. If you see here, right, because this is the linear line equation, this is the linear line equation, or we can say y is equal to mx plus c, right? If you see here, these are your input value, it means y value. We can say y, this is, we can say this is your y1, y2, y3, y4, like this. And these our data point, it means input data points we have. I want to calculate the salary at this particular point, right? I want to calculate the salary by using this particular linear line. How we can calculate? So for that, I will use this particular intercept. Like I will draw a parallel line with x-axis and parallel line with y-axis, and whatever the intercept we will get at this particular linear line, by that particular point we can predict the salary. It means this particular point. It means this particular point. This would be your y hat, or we can say the y predicted value, y pred. It means at the 5 year of experience, I will get the value, we can say $8.2 per day. So by this particular linear line, we can predict our salary. Now question comes, because till now we have understood how we can plot the scatter plot, how we can use this particular linear line to predict the salary, it means output, or we can say the how we can use this linear line to predict the salary. Now question comes, if you see here, we randomly draw this particular line. Okay, so it is too easy to draw this particular line, or for that we have to do something like we just draw the scatter plot, and we can draw any line, and we can use that any line to make the prediction. Is this the correct way? I think no, right? So we have to use this particular line in such a way so that we can get the our prediction in a more generalized way, right? So for that, what we will do, let's see how we can do that, right? As I told you, because earlier we were using this particular line, now we can use this particular line, right? So we can use any line to make the prediction, but how we can say that which line we have to use for our prediction? That is the main question, right? So how we can decide that whether we have to use blue line or whether we have to this particular orange line? So which line we have to use, regression line we have to use to make the prediction? So we have to use some best fit line, right? We have to use some best fit line. By using that we can make our prediction. So let's understand how we can do that, right? If you see here, this is your original data point, okay, and this is your predicted value, right? This is your predicted value. These all are your predicted value. And these your original value, or we can say the actual value. Now as I discussed that we have to draw a perfect fit line, right? We have to draw, or we have to select that particular linear line. By using that we can generalize our model, or we can get the good prediction model. Like how we can select that particular linear line? So for that, what we will do, we will first calculate the distance, right? If you see here, right, if you see here, right, this is the distance, this is the actual value, we can say y, and this is your y hat. So we will try to find a distance, y minus y hat. We will try to find this particular distance for each data point. So and then we have to add all these points. So for that, I want to do sum is equal to d1 plus d2 plus d3 and all the d10 points, right? But if you see here, this formula we will use to check the distance. If you see here, for this particular point, right, for this particular point our value would be, we can say the positive, but for this particular point, right, it means y minus y hat. So y would be your this, right, this and this. So this would be, we can say 0.5 minus 2, or we can say 1 minus 2. So this would be your -1. It means it is a negative in nature, right? So all those data points which are below this particular linear regression line, those will have the negative value, and all those points which are above this particular linear line, those will have the positive value. So the positive and negative could be cancelled out to each other. So in this way we will not be able to get the correct sum of all the distances, right? So for that, what we can do, we can square, it means sum square, it means d1 square, d2 square, d10 square, it means all the value. So this way, let's this value, so if we will square, we will get the +1. So this way we can get the correct distances. So it means if I will use sum square, or we can write in such a way, I is equal to 1 to n, here n is equal to 10, and what we are gonna do, by minus by hat square. So we have to calculate this particular distance. So why it is required to calculate the distance? Now question comes. So let's understand why we are going to calculate the distance. If you see here, this is the equation we use for the linear line, and this linear line equation we can also write in such a way, beta naught plus beta 1x plus error terms, right? What is this error terms? Error terms is this particular distance. If you see here, if I will say this is the actual value and this is the predicted value, right? So the distance would be your error value, or we can say the error terms. So here we are going to calculate the error for all the data points, right? So that we can get the total errors. What could be the total errors? So that's why we are going to calculate the distance, so that we can check how much error we are getting by using this particular linear line, right? So this way, I select this particular linear line and I will calculate the error. I select this particular line 1 and calculate the error, it means SSE. Then I will draw again linear line, and same I will calculate the distance, let line 2, then again we will calculate the SSE. Let's understand what is the SSE first. If you see here, this is the SSE we are gonna use to get the best fit line, it means best fit regression line. So the formula which I have already explained to you, y is your original value, y hat is your predicted value. So we want to use this particular SSE to find the best fit line. How we can get the best fit line? Let's understand that. If you see here, again what we will do, again we will check the distance, right? This distance we will again calculate. Now we can say that L2 I am getting SSE, and for L1 I am also getting SSE, and for line 3, let this is your line 3, again I will calculate the distances, let again I am getting the SSE, right? So now how we will decide? Now question comes, how we will decide which SSE we have to choose, right? Because we can select multiple lines, we select 10 lines, okay, and by using this 10 line we can calculate the SSE. So how we can say that which SSE we have to choose, right? Let's go back to our previous example. If you see here, okay, if you see here I am calculating the SSE, okay, here I am calculating the SSE for this line. I calculated this SSE is 100, okay, and what is the SSE? This SSE is this particular distances, it means total distances. If anyhow I am able to minimize this distances, it means total distances, right? It means this is the distance, okay, and I again draw this particular line. If you see here, by in this particular line I am able to minimize the total distances, it means total error, okay. It means let's see this particular equation. In this equation I am getting 10, then I am getting 9, then again I am getting 8, then again I am getting 5 error. So I will use that particular error which is very minimum, or we can say, or the least error, or right. So because our main purpose is to minimize the error in the equation, right, so that we can get the best fit line. Because if we will minimize this error, we can get the best fit line. So how we can get the best fit line? So to get the best fit line, we have to minimize the SSE as much as possible. How we can do that? We can do that with the help of M and C. It means we will use different M and C value, then those value we will apply in this particular equation. Okay, then we will get the by output, and then we will get the distance. It means by minus by output to calculate the SSE. So we can say that those M and C value where we get the minimum SSE or the least SSE, we will use those particular M and C value to draw our best fit line. So this method is also called as your ordinary least square method. This is called as your ordinary least square method. Least square, as the name suggests, this is the square, right? Our main purpose is to least the value. It means minimize this particular terms SSE. That's why it is called as a ordinary least square method to fit the best fit regression line. So if you see here, in our linear regression, our main purpose is to draw this linear line. Okay, if we have this data point, then we try to minimize this particular error between this particular data point and this particular linear line. So how we can minimize? We can minimize with the help of SSE and M and C value. First we will use different M and C value, and by using that we can minimize this particular SSE value. Now we will see what are the different methods we can use to use this particular OLS method. Earlier we have understood how we can draw this best fit line with the help of M and C, and we will use the SSE to minimize this as much as possible with the help of M and C. So these M and C we will use to draw this particular, this is your C and this is your slope. Because SSE, because if you see here, SSE your evaluation matrix, because we are going to evaluate this particular linear line equation. So this particular evaluation matrix we will use to get the best fit line. So how we can get the best fit line? There are the two different methods we can use. First one is your statistical method, second one is your machine learning method. So if we are going to use the statistical method, okay, in that case we will use this particular equation, y is equal to mx plus c, or we can say y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x. Okay, so here I am only considering the one variable. This is your input data variable, this is your output variable. Here I am only considering the one dimensional data x and y. But in the real world you will get the multi-dimensional data. It means this z, and we can say any like your z3, any like we can say the 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional or 6-dimensional. So if you want to use the multi-dimension, in that case you these are the data points we have. So we will draw the plane. This is your plane, right? Then we will try to find the distance between the data point and the plane, and that distance will be used as your SSE, and that SSE we have to minimize in a three dimension or the multi-dimensional linear regression model. So let's understand how we can use the statistical method to find the best fit line. So our main purpose is to select the M and C value, those M and C value where we get the minimum SSE, right? So in the statistics we can use this particular formula to find the M value and the C value. Once we find the M value, formula is that we have to first calculate the xi minus x bar. It means this is your input data and this is your mean value of the input data. Same output data, and this is your mean value of the output data. It means actual output data. And this is your input data, independent data we can say, and this is your input data, mean of the input data, and then doing the square. So this formula we will use to calculate the M. Once we have the M value, we can use this particular formula. It means y is equal to mx plus c. We will apply the M value here, and then we will calculate the c. C value would be y, then we will move into the left hand side, y minus M multiply by x, or we can say that y mean value minus M multiply by x mean value. So by this formula we can calculate the M and C value in a statistical method. Once we will calculate M and C, then what we will do, we will predict the output value. We will apply M and C value here, right? Then we will calculate Y output value for a different X value. Then again we will calculate the SSE, because this by this we will calculate the Y hat, it means Y output, and we already have the input. Then we will take the difference like your distance, then we will add all the distances, and that SSE we will use as your evaluation matrix in a statistical method. How do we calculate the least square method to find the best fit regression line in a machine learning method? In a machine learning method, there are the two ways. First one is your scikit-learn library, sklearn library we can use, and other one is your gradient descent. In the sklearn library, we use the least square solver in a SciPy library. This particular wrapper we use to find the least square method. Math is same, right? We use different M and C value and calculate the SSE, and those M and C value where we get the least SSE, those M and C value we will select. Same math we use in the sklearn, but here is a library that we can directly use to calculate the SSE and M and C. What if we want to iterate, like if we want to calculate the SSE by iterating the different M and C value, then we can use the gradient descent. In the gradient descent we use the slope, right? This is your SSE, okay, and this is your M, right? M and C value we can say, this is your C value. So let we calculate C is equal to 0 initially, right? In our equation y is equal to mx plus c, let c is equal to 0. Then we will use different M value, and by those value we will calculate the y, okay. Once we will calculate the y, then we will calculate the SSE. So here I am going to use this particular scatter plot between the SSE and M. Let's in the first I select the M, then we will get the SSE this, okay. Once I select the value 2, we will get the SSE this. Let 3, we will get the SSE this. 4, we will get the SSE this. So this way we get graph like this, okay, in the gradient descent. And we use this particular minimum, we can say the global minima, this particular minimum value, at which point I am getting this particular minimum value, that point we select for our linear regression model. It means M value we will select this. Here I only use the M, but we use both M and C value. First we use M is equal to C 0 and C is equal to 0 by selecting the 0 and 0. Then we will calculate the SSE. Then we will select different M and C value combination and we'll select the SSE. And if we plot this particular graph, we get this type of the graph. This is called as your global minima. I will create a separate video to understand what is the gradient descent. This is just like your summarize how we use the gradient descent. I will explain in more details in a separate video. This is just for understanding what are the different methods we can use for the least square method to find the best fit linear regression line. So if you see here how we can solve this particular linear regression best fit line by the statistical method. In a statistical method we use this particular Bell tested formula. So this is your x, this is your y. We have to calculate the mean of x, mean of y, okay. Then we will do difference, it means xi minus x bar, then by I minus by bar, here we are doing, then this particular complete multiplication I am doing here, then this particular xi minus x bar I am doing here, then squaring I am doing here. So this way we calculate all these value. Now what is this? This is your sum, this particular sum I am doing, and here this particular sum I am doing. So this way we have calculated this particular value. It means we have calculated this is your this, okay, and this is your this value. Now we have to calculate the m value. How we can calculate m value? M value we can calculate 995 divided by 188.9. We will get this particular. It means slope we got this. Now we will calculate the c. What is the formula? We can use the c, mean of the y minus m multiply by mean of the x. Mean of the y, this 48, then minus 5, this particular m, then multiply by mean of the x, this particular. So this way we can get the c value. By using the statistical method we have calculated the m and c value. Now we will calculate the y value. It means y is equal to mx plus c. M and c we have already calculated. So we will apply both the value in this particular equation. This is your m multiply by x, then plus c. This is the equation we will use to calculate the y hat. It means y output. How we can use that? Here you can see this is your x, y, m and c we have already calculated. Now we have to calculate this y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation. Here we will use different x value. It means all these value we will apply here, then we will calculate this particular y output. What is the formula of the squared error? Y minus y output, like this. Then we will do the square. This is the SSE. It means sum of squared error. We are getting this. So this is the what is the value we are getting? Sum of squared error 174.99. But there are the different methods we also got as a mean squared error. Mean squared error formula is 1 divided by n summation y minus y hat whole square, and is the number of the data points or number of the rows of samples. So here I am just divided by 10 data points. So we are getting the mean square is equal to 17.499. One, we also use the root mean squared error. It means root of MSC. If we will do the root, we will get 4 point some value. So these three evaluation metrics we can use to find the best fit line or to evaluate our best fit line, whether we are using the correct best fit line or not. So let's calculate the M and C using the stats model. This is also a statistical method, but here we are going to use the stats model library. In the stats model library, we are going to import the API. Then I am importing the NumPy and Matplotlib. This is the input data, like same data. If you see here, I am in the same data, experience and salary. This is your experience, this is your salary, right? Here I am just explaining all in a very summarized way. I will create a different video where I will perform all the hands-on in a more details. Here I am using one constant value. So why I am going to use this constant? If you see here, y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x for a simple linear regression. So here in a stats model, they don't use this particular beta naught. They use beta naught is equal to 0. They only use this particular equation like this, beta 1 plus x plus error. So we have to add this particular constant value beta naught. So that's why I am going to use one constant value here. This particular beta naught I am going to add here. I import the stats model library and class is API. Then what I am going to do? I am going to create the object. This is your library.api sm.sm. Here we use this particular alias. Okay. Then I am going to use the ordinary list square. Then I am going to apply the input and output and input variable. Then it will provide you the object or the fit object. This fit object we will use to calculate the predicted value. How we can use that? You can see here, this we have created. right? This fit object we have created. Now we can use this particular object, we can calculate the intercept and coefficient. Model underscore op, this is your created object. Then you can use the params. Here we get the, if we directly use param, we can get the two value, this and this. So this would be your list. So that's why I am doing the 0 and 1. First value would be your intercept and second value would be your coefficient. And same way, if you want to predict the output value, we can use the predict method and we can apply the input value here x, and we can get the output value. It means predicted output value. And then we can do the difference, this minus your input variable, it means this value, this is your output by at, and the by, and by the difference we can get the SSE. But here we can directly use this particular method SSR, sum squared error. If we use direct SSR, then we can get the 174.99, but here I am going to use the mean square error. That's why I am going to divide with the length of x. It means how many data points we have? We have the 10 data points, so I am getting the 17.499. Same MSE which we got, if you see here, 17.499. Same value I am getting with the help of stats model library. Same RMSE I am getting 4.18. If you see, I am also getting here, if we will do the square root, we will get the 4 point some value. Same thing I am getting here. So this way we can use the stats library to predict the MNC value and to predict the output value. Let's how we can calculate the MNC and SSE using the machine learning sklearn library. Here we use the linear regression class that comes under the linear model. So here same data I am going to use. Here same, I am creating the object, then I am going to create the fit object, just applying the x and y value. This fit object has been created. Now we can calculate the coefficient as we did in our stats model. Same thing we can do here. If you see here, same way I can use the predict method here. These value we have predicted same as we have did in our stats library. If you see here, same thing I am gonna do here. Now we can use the MSE. In the MSE, what is this MSE? So this mean squared error, these are the evaluation matrix. Evaluation matrix means those matrix which we use to evaluate our model, whether our model is a good or not. So these evaluation matrix, it means mean squared error and R2 score, or we can also call it as a R squared. R squared and mean squared error I am going to use to evaluate our machine learning model. So here you can see MSE would be your mean square, this is your method. Then I am going to use the input and output value. It means here I am going to apply the your input dependent, it means actual dependent variable and predicted dependent variable. And what is the difference? By this difference normally we used to get the SSE. So they have created this particular method here to find the SSE, then by the SSE they can calculate the MSE. So if you see here, I am getting the same value, 17 point something, same value. And then SSE, if you want to calculate, you can multiply with the length 174, and for RMSE it means mean squared error, we can do the square root of the MSE. Then we can get the 4.18. It means by using all the formulas or by using all the methods, we are getting the same output. It means we can use any method for our linear regression model. So that we will discuss later, which one is best or what is the advantage of the stats model over the machine learning model, or what is the advantage of the gradient descent over the sklearn model or the stats model. That we will understand in our next video. So let's how we use the gradient descent. For the gradient descent, same, this is your linear equation and this is your, we can say, the MSE, mean squared error, right? So in the gradient descent, we use the derivative. We calculate the derivative of this equation. First we will calculate the derivative with respect to m, then we will calculate derivative with respect to c, and then we get this particular output, right? This particular output we will use to iterate the different m and c value. I will explain all the gradient descent in a more details in our coming video. So just try to understand how does it work in a very summarized way here, because this video is gonna be very long. So that's why I am going to cover all the things in a very summarized way. If you see here how we can use the gradient descent, we can use one function here. Here I am going to apply the input variable, output variable, and then how many pose or iteration we have to use, and what would be the learning rate. Learning rate we will discuss in the gradient descent video, and is the basic and the number of the data points or the samples. Here I am choosing the initial startup value for the MNC is equal to 0, and here I am doing the iteration. How many iterations I am going to use, that I will mention here, epoch, right? Then we will use this particular y is equal to mx plus c, right? Then this is the cost function. If you see here, your cost function, this particular value, right? This particular value it will calculate, but here I am going to use the list comprehension, right? So that we can iterate different value. Here I am calculating derivative of the m, derivative of the c, same formula. I am applying this particular formula, I am applying here. Then I am just doing the current value minus learning rate multiply by, it means this is the new value. How we can calculate the new m? It means old value minus learning rate multiply by the derivative of the m. So this way we can calculate the different m and c value, and by that particular value we can calculate the SSE. Here you can see these data points I am gonna use. Number of the iterations, how many iterations I am going to use? I am going to use the 10 iterations. Length, total data points we have 10. Learning rate I am going to use this, and once we will apply, we get this particular output here, right? If you see here, initially it start here, right? Then once the MNC value change, you can see our like linear regression line gets changed, and this particular line we get the final line, and this is the best fit line. We can calculate with the help of gradient descent. As I plotted graph between the your cost value between SSE and the iterations, how many iterations we can get. So as the iterations increase, you can see that your value gets decrease, right? And at which point we can get the least value, it means least SSE value. At that particular point we can get the m and c value, and those m and c value we will use for our final linear regression line. The multilinear regression, as I already told you, that we will use the more than one dimension. If we have more than one dimension, that is called as your multilinear regression model. We can say that beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3 and so on, or we can say beta n xn plus error terms. So this is the equation of the multilinear regression model. So here these are the data points we have. Okay, so here what we do, we use this particular plane and we try to find the distance between this particular plane from each data points, and by using that we try to make the least error. It means least square error. So the math is same, right? But here we use the plane instead of line. All the things are same, like same sklearn library, same gradient descent, same stats library, we use the same thing. Same method we can also use for the multilinear regression model. So what is the evaluation matrix? Evaluation matrix are those matrices which used to find the best fit line. As you know, we use the mean squared error to find the best fit line, right? We also check how we can use the RMSE, just under root the MSE. Then what is the R square, that I will cover in our next video. This is called as your mean absolute error, like by minus by hat. Absolute will provide you the only positive points, right? So this we can also use. And what is the R square? R square is your, if you see here, this minus this is your SSE, means sum squared error, and this is your sum of square total. That we will understand what is this in our next video. Just try to understand. We also use the R squared for as a evaluation matrix, that I will cover in our next video. This video is very long and I tried to cover all the things in a single video. In our next video, we will do the hands-on with the help of stats library, sklearn, and then also we will perform the gradient descent. That's it from my side for today. If you will like, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel and share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.